From winning a finals game with the flu to scoring a 60-foot two-point shot. These are NBA moments that will never happen again.
𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪𝙩 credit as 𝙤𝙤
And at number 10 we have the Boston Celtics celebrating an 8-peat. Winning a championship itself is hard enough for any team, but staying at the top, that's a whole nother level. In fact, there only have been 5 three-peats in NBA history. The Minneapolis Lakers were the first to win 3 championships in a row, and they were followed by Bill Russell's Boston Celtics. Then there was a massive drought until Michael Jordan came around and engineered 3 peats on 2 separate occasions during the 1990s. After that, it was the Kobe and Shaq Lakers completing the trifecta. That's it. But the Celtics championship streak wasn't just a 3-peat, it was an 8-peat. Boston and their leader Bill Russell won 8 consecutive championships. That's insane. The current construction of the NBA prevents that from ever happening again. 3 is hard enough, 4 is virtually impossible, given the strength of the league, the depth of quality teams and the rules of the collective bargaining agreement. So this moment will definitely never happen again. But one moment that might be even more astonishing is when Michael Jordan won a finals game with the flu. It's one of the most memorable performances of all time, regardless of the stage. Michael Jordan, suffering from flu symptoms to the point that he was on the verge of collapsing while seated on the bench, still managed to dominate the Utah Jazz from start to finish. Yes, even if that finish led to him needing support from Scottie Pippen as he struggled to leave the court after the final buzzer. Finishing Game 5 of the 1997 NBA Finals with 38 points, 7 rebounds and 5 assists, including 15 big points in the fourth quarter, Jordan was absolutely sensational. His coach, Phil Jackson, went as far as calling it the greatest game of his career.
Classic performance by the flu-ridden Michael Jordan.
Alright, we still have some crazy NBA moments to discover, like hitting 2 game-winning buzzer beaters in a row or winning the MVP at just 22 years old, so make sure to watch until the end. But first, we have to talk about Wilt Chamberlain, because up until this day he remains the only player to have cracked the 100-point mark. The crazy part? No one has ever gotten close to breaking the record, even though it was set more than 60 years ago. MJ scored 69, Devin Booker scored 70, Donovan Mitchell and Damian Lillard scored 71, and Kobe scored 81. But that's it, it doesn't get any closer. Sure, the rules of the NBA have changed and it has become exponentially harder for an individual to score 100 points. Therefore, this moment will most likely never happen again. Okay, it's time to talk about the youngest MVP in NBA history. Because Derrick Rose was awarded as the most valuable player at just 22 years old. That's incredible. The average age of an NBA MVP is almost 28 years. When you join the league, you have to get used to it, even if you're a star. Becoming the best player in the NBA is impossible for most people and takes years of development for those who have the chance. Steph Curry won MVP at 26 years old. Players like Kevin Durant, Giannis or Jokic did it at 25. LeBron and Jordan got the award with 24. But Derrick Rose stands alone at 22 years and 6 months. This NBA moment might never happen again. But now I have to tell you a story. This year I almost won the YouTube MVP award, but then I got injured and someone else took it. So you could help me with my recovery by subscribing to this channel. But now let's get back. Because at number 6, Jerry West scored the longest 2-point shot in NBA history to force overtime in an NBA Finals game. There was no 3-point arc during the 1970 NBA Finals. Every shot made from the field was worth a pair, whether it was a dunk, a mid-range look or a 60-foot prayer.
West throws it up.
West opted for the last route. After Dave the Boucher hit a long jumper to put the New York Knicks up by 2 points with just 3 ticks left in Game 3, Wilt Chamberlain basically gave up. He did inbound the ball, but he did so before turning to the locker room without even watching what went down on the court. West didn't give up though. He lofted up a desperation heave from well beyond the half-court stripe and it found the bottom of the net to somehow send the game to overtime. Though the Los Angeles Lakers would still lose the game in the final period, the legend of the shot lives on. Since this would be a 3-pointer nowadays, this NBA moment will surely never happen again. So far we have talked about many individual performances, but at number 5 we have one team accomplishment that stands out.
The greatest regular season in NBA history now belongs to the 2016 Golden State Warriors.
A team normally is considered good when they have an above 50% win rate. But what makes a team have a great regular season? When they have 40 wins, or 50, or even 60? Well, in 1992 the Chicago Bulls set a franchise record with 67 wins to just 15 losses. Later, in 1996, they smashed their own record and set a new league high with 72 wins and 10 losses. Everyone thought this record was unbreakable. Until in 2016, the Golden State Warriors just stomped through the NBA. They gathered 73 wins with just 9 losses. It's the only season of a team ever with single-digit losses. This seems unbelievable, but it's true. Unfortunately, the Warriors didn't win the finals that year, but their feat remains unprecedented and might be a moment that will never happen again.
Curry, way downtown, bang!
If you are still here, then make sure to keep watching, because we still haven't talked about when a referee gambled on NBA games, or when a guy hit 2 consecutive game winners. So let's start with the latter. Let me ask you something. How often do you see a buzzer beater? Sometimes, right? How often do you see a game winner? Not that often, right? And how often do you see a game-winning buzzer beater? Okay, I'll get to the point. Hitting the game winner as the buzzer sounds to get your team the win is a very rare occasion. And it's deeply satisfying, or horrifying depending on the team you want to win. Now in 2022 𝙤𝙗 𝙤𝙪𝙩 didn't pull this off one time, but 2 times in a row. Something that happens only a few times every season was done by the same player twice in 2 consecutive games. Just look at it.
DeRozan to win it! Go! DeRozan, pump fake for the win! Got it again!
This moment will definitely never happen again. But while 𝙤𝙗 𝙤𝙪𝙩 scored 2 game winners in 2 games, there actually was one game where 2 game winners were scored. Well, at least the first one should have been a game winner. On December 16, 2021, OKC played against the Pelicans. In the final seconds, the Pelicans were leading by 3. So 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 pulled up for a 3 and hit an incredible shot that should send the game to overtime. With 1.4 seconds remaining, everyone was waiting for OT to begin. But Devontae Graham took one more shot.
𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 credited as 𝘼𝙗𝙤 sends it.
Everyone, especially 𝘼𝙗𝙤, was speechless. Devontae Graham just hit a 61-foot game-winning buzzer beater, making it the longest game winner in NBA history. This NBA moment will never happen again. Alright friends, we have 2 more moments to go, so stick with me here. Because it's time to talk about the referee that put the NBA in a bad light by betting on games. Tim Donaghy was known as a respected official in the NBA after 13 years of officiating professional basketball games. On June 20, 2007, the NBA's name would be tarnished after reports started to come in that Tim Donaghy had been placing bets worth tens of thousands of dollars on a number of games in the 2005-2006 season. Stephen A. Smith had reported that Donaghy was in substantial debt and looked at the NBA as a means of getting out of debt by betting on NBA games that he would sometimes officiate. A gambling expert would do extensive research on games Donaghy officiated and found a number of significant oddities, including teams scoring more points than Las Vegas expected 57% of the time, and 10 consecutive games that Donaghy officiated where the point spread would move before the tip due to large amounts of money being wagered on the game. Of course, the NBA didn't let that slide. Donaghy ended up spending some time in prison, and the officials of the NBA tried to make sure that this was a moment that will never happen again. Now we have one more moment to go, and to round this one up, I'd like to talk about another impeccable player performance. We already talked about the Celtics winning 8 championships in a row, but what their star player Bill Russell did was nothing short of impressive. During Game 7 of the 1962 NBA Finals, Russell could not be stopped. The Boston Celtics were playing the Los Angeles Lakers and seeking their 4th title in a row, but things weren't exactly easy. Foul trouble plagued the team, limiting the Celtics players. But it didn't matter to Russell. During the 110-107 victory, which involved a decisive overtime period, the Boston big man lived up to his big game legend. He scored 30 points and put down 40 rebounds, which remains the most boards anyone has ever grabbed during a finals contest. You know, for a double-double you only need 10 boards, right? My man Russell went in and got 40. This also remains an NBA moment that will most likely never happen again. But do you know what else will never happen again? Yeah, a team having as much luck as the Denver Nuggets when assembling their star players. Seriously, their way to building a championship winning team was as unconventional as it can get. So check out this video if you want to know how the Denver Nuggets built the most dominant team in the league right now. Just click it, I'll see you there.